Hey there, it's me, Talia, and how are you doing? I'm doing great, and I hope that you're doing fantastic as well. So, the breeze of May is here, and we're stepping into the second month of spring. So, why don't we grab our bullet journal, sit down, and plan together the bullet journal spreads for May? So, the theme that I've chosen this month, as you may have already guessed, is avocados. But before we dive deep into the journal planning, I want to take a moment to tell you that from June, I'll be posting my monthly planning videos on the 20th of every month. So, there's plenty of time for you to plan what you want to do. I tried pushing myself this month to at least post it by 25th, but since planning bullet journal spreads is a creative endeavor, I realized that I cannot do it under pressure. So from now on, I'll post my bullet journal planning videos on the 20th of every month. So there's plenty of time for me to get creative, and also it will give you ample time to figure out what you want to do for your monthly planning. Alright, let's go back to journaling now. By the way, am I the only one who thinks avocados are extremely cute? For some reason, I always thought that avocados and ladybugs are super cute. And since I have been craving avocados lately, I thought why not have an avocado theme for this month? So for the cover page this month, I just slightly drifted from what I usually did and decided to fill the entire page with avocados. And for lettering, I went with what we can only call an attempt at calligraphy. I am still working on it. Anyway, rather than adding the calendar to the cover page, which I usually do for my cover, I just thought that it would be much better to combine it with the goals and important dates page for this month. And as for our review section, I'll keep it at the end of this month's planning. On the next page, like always, is my habit and mood tracker. This month, rather than following a definitive font style, I gave myself the liberty of writing how it came to my mind. So I wrote the main heading in block bold and filled it in with silver lines to add a definition. For this month again, I have just kept 3 habits to track. I am still not regular with these 3. What do I do? What do I do? There are at least 5 days a month that I completely forget one of these 3. So yeah, I'm only focusing on 3 again this month. For the mood tracker this month, rather than going with the bar graph that I did for last month's planning, I'm going for a simple block calendar. But I will keep the color coding system that I did last month because I thoroughly enjoyed it. Following the theme for the spreads, the color codes will be yellow, green, and brown. Now, I don't think I need to tell you that brown means stay far away from me. My mood isn't the very best today. And to finish off the layout, I finally then filled the page with more avocados. I must tell you that drawing the avocados was more therapeutic than I thought. So on the next page is my gratitude list. Like always, for this month, I thought of adding 3 blocks to write 3 things that I will forever be grateful for in my life. Try this exercise in your bullet journal this month and you'll see how much we take things for granted. Also, this month I have left a little space for a Polaroid picture to capture a fun moment in me. Let's just pray that I can turn on my camera to do that. Alright, so on this next page I wanted to get a little creative, so I added the avocado toast recipe page here. As I mentioned before, avocado is one of my favorite fruit, basically because you can make savory things out of it. I am not much of a sweet tooth. I like savory things better, so I like avocados a lot. But that wasn't pretty much the case when I was growing up. Like when I was a kid, I remember my aunt and mom forcing me to drink the avocado milkshake. But since I did not like it as much, I remember I would shut my mouth with both of my hands in a rebellion that I wouldn't drink it. Cut to when I was living in Bangalore before lockdown, and there was a small restaurant near my place where I tried the avocado milkshake after years. It was so good that I instantly fell in love with it. And then I tried making guacamole in lockdown and I couldn't stop eating it. It surprises me sometimes how we could come to like things that we hated in the past. The experience we have in childhood can have a real impact on us. For example, the first time I ever sat in a giant wheel was when I was 5. or something around the age. I don't remember exactly. But what I do remember is that my head reeled like it was on a motor, and I spent the rest of the ride sleeping on my dad's lap. I never dared to ride the giant wheel again after that till I was 15. I think I went to a fair or something with my friends, and somehow my friends convinced me to ride the giant wheel. Sitting in that giant wheel that day, looking down towards the ground, I just realized that it wasn't as intimidating as I made it in my head. I managed to overcome that fear and rode the giant wheel happily that day. Oftentimes in life, we base our decisions on past experiences we've had, but those experiences are something that our past self experienced and not the present self. It could happen so what was an unpleasant experience then may be a pleasant experience now, if you only give it another try. If there is a fear that is holding you back from experiencing something, then I hope for May to be the month where you break free from those fears and attempt to experience what you're holding yourself back from. I hope you experience newer and more pleasant things only to realize how beautiful new experiences are. Anyway, let's get back to journaling now. Next to Avocado page is the playlist page where I am planning to write the top 6 singles I loop in May. If you have any good music recommendations, then go ahead and drop them down in the comments below so I can loop them too. Next, we have the weekly planning for May. So for the first week, I'm going maximalist and trying out the blog layout. So I have a few blocks on the side here where I will write down my weekly goals, tasks, and important dates. I also have a tiny calendar to have a quick peek into the week. And then on the left hand side, I have a few blocks for daily entries. Next to it, I added a cute doodle of the avocado, drew some fun lettering, and added more blocks for the days. For the second week, I thought of keeping it pretty minimal since I went maximalist for the previous page. To make it more fun, I also added a few cute doodles of the avocado here and there. This one is my favorite. It's drinking boba tea since it's hot and summer. Something that's different from my last month's spread is definitely the goals and task blocks. I thought it would be a fun addition, but feel free to skip it if you don't like it. And then finally I finished it off by drawing more avocados. For week 3, I still wanted to go minimalistic, so I chose to go for the dot grid layout. Rather than keeping the smaller blocks for goals, dates, and tasks on one side, I put it on the top and went ahead to lay the dot boxes for the days of the week below it. To just, shuffle things up for aesthetics. To draw some attention to the heading, I drew some rough rectangles and filled them in with the name of the days. To add a pop of color, since I was getting a little too bored of the all green layout, I also added the dates in red. And of course, how can we forget to doodle? That's like the primary reason we hand lay the pages in bullet journal. So I had to go for another fun doodle here in the corner. Alright, next going to week 4 of May, I'm returning back to the maximalist design layout. I'm adding gingham boxes in yellow and green because I find them very cute. And also added these ruffled boxes to mark some distinction. I don't know what to call them. I call them ruffled blocks. I guess you can call them anything you like. Since there are only 3 days in the final week of May, I'm combining it with the 4th week by trimming off the page here to sort of mark a continuation between the two. I added a line of avocados and then cut the page along the line. Then I added more gingham and ruffled blocks, wrote all the days, dates, and filled the page with more avocados. Alright, now that the spreads for May are all done and ready, let's quickly take a look at what we have so far. For the cover page, I have the avocado layout, which is a bit different than what I normally do. On the other side of the book, I have a small calendar to mark important dates and write down my monthly goals. Flipping through to next, I have my habit and mood tracker as always, where I will be tracking 3 of my habits and my mood. For my mood tracker this month, I have a small block calendar to fill in with colors. Next to it is my gratitude list, where this month I am planning to write 3 things I will forever be grateful for. I also have left a small space down here for a fun picture from me. Next is my avocado toast recipe page, followed by a playlist page. Flipping through to the next is my planning for week 1 of May, which is inspired by gingham blocks and sticky notes. Next is week 2, which I have tried to keep as minimal as possible with some fun doodles and blocks for the days. Week 3 is again a lot minimalistic with a dot grid layout and doodles, and then I have combined week 4 and week 5 to form a continuous spread with gingham blocks, ruffled blocks, and more avocados. And with that, it's pretty much a wrap. I'll see you again soon, but until then, take care, dear friend.